Hey everybody, I hope you're staying safe and healthy wherever you may be on this beautiful planet of ours. Now, this rock that we call our home is far from perfect, and I'm glad to see a bunch of my fellow Americans standing up for what they believe in. Unfortunately, this is leading to quite a bit of division, and it really breaks my heart to see some of the things that are happening in this country that I love so much. Now, being able to disagree with one another and have civil discussions is extremely important because that's how we're going to grow as a society. Fortunately, we're seeing some of these disagreements being taken to the far extremes to the point where it actually becomes destructive. Now, I'm not going to stand up here and pretend like I have all the answers to the problems because, frankly, I don't. But in general, I like to be constructive and spread positivity. And today, that positivity comes in the form of a little bit of art. Yes, you all get to watch me, just a programmer who isn't naturally inclined to doing art. I'm going to try my hand at doing some art today because I think it'll just be fun, and hopefully it's something that can help you keep your mind off some of the craziness, even if just for a few minutes. I'm not saying you should ignore all the things that are going on in our world. You should definitely stand up for what you believe in, make your voices heard through voting and through other actions. Just be sure to think through things logically and make sure you're considering the long-term implications of your actions. Because united we stand and divided we fall. Enjoy the video. Okay, so here we are, the blank canvas. So naturally the first question is going to be, what am I going to draw? Well, inspired by the amazing SpaceX launch that happened over the past weekend, I am going to be trying to draw the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket with the Crew Dragon payload up top. That honestly was one of the most amazing things that I've ever watched, and it really makes me damn proud to be an American for us to be able to put men back into space on our own for the first time in nearly a decade, and the fact that it was done by a commercial entity or using a spacecraft made by a commercial entity just makes it all that much more better. And I think this is a massive step into the future for humanity as a whole. Because of that, I'm going to be attempting to draw this rocket today. So let's see. I'm trying to figure out this program. This layer 1, we can just kind of keep this as it's going to be my sky layer here. Let's get a nice sky color, which is kind of like a nice light blue. Let's see how well that looks. Maybe even a little more closer to white. Yeah, I think that'll do. I think that will do. So anyways, I apologize in advance if it's taken me a little bit to figure this out. This is a new program I'm using. I think it's called ArtFlow. It's on my Android tablet. This is a Samsung Galaxy Tab S6, I believe is what it is. And I'm kind of just starting to get into art as like a little bit of a hobby. And so I kind of just want to share my art work a little bit more on here. So anyways, let's see. I guess I kind of want to start by doing this kind of ground platform here. Kind of medium-ish gray right there. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to start by kind of making the platform. So right here, let me just get a nice straight line. Whoop, that is not a straight line to start this platform. Let's try actually getting a nice straight line in here. So again, this is really the kind of beginning of my art journey here. I am taking this kind of online tutorial known as Drawbox. I think some of you may be familiar with it. It's just a nice art type tutorial where it goes online, kind of talking about some of the basics of just kind of drawing lines, and then we start moving into drawing boxes, and starts to get more complicated after that. But in that tutorial, it's mainly kind of geared towards like repetition, drawing lines and boxes over and over and over again. But they do really encourage you to kind of go out on your own and just kind of do art for fun. And that's basically what I'm doing here today. Just kind of doing some stuff for fun. Actually, let me make a new layer for, I'm going to start the rocket here. So we're gonna do the rocket layer. And so probably want the rocket to go, how high? Probably here. So yeah, one of the things that they kind of go over in the beginning is just drawing nice confident lines. You know, you want to really focus on, oh, that is my finger. Sorry, still trying to figure this out. You really want to, you know, kind of draw everything in just one nice, confident straight stroke. That was pretty good. And I'm trying to drag around the page, but, you know, still getting used to this here. So this is, to be honest, this is really like my first kind of solo, just fun little art session. And you know, oh, that is that is not a straight rocket at all. Let's try and go back. You know, actually one of the exercises they had us do is we put a begin point. Actually, let me do this. A begin point right there, and we'll put our end point directly above it right there. We'll do the same thing with the other side of the rocket. Go here and here. That's not exactly perfect, but I think it's good enough for government work. Actually, you know what? I might even want these a little lower. So one of the techniques they say is this thing called ghosting, where you pretty much kind of go over your line over and over and over again, and then when you're ready, boom, hit it. Okay, not terrible. Go over, hit it. All right. I think that's enough to work off of for now. Kind of fill that rocket out. And I can kind of start drawing now the actual the crew dragon section. So this is the part that the astronauts actually fly in. Kind of want to go a little bit lower than where I went to start this off, but I mean, basically, we're just kind of drawing. You know, I want to be more rounded at the top. They really kind of advise against what I'm doing right now, kind of chicken scratching. They really want you to draw confident lines over and over and over again. Also, really trying my best here to make this not look like anything inappropriate, but I mean, I am drawing a freaking rocket after all, so. Oh, I can't use purchase upgrade. You get the in-app purchases, more layers. You know what? Okay, whatever, we're doing it. All right, anyways, go ahead and make a new layer. So this kind of arcs over here. And we're going to do a similar kind of stroke right here. Now, another reason I kind of started doing art, of course, I just want to, I think it's just like a fun little hobby for me, and I think it's something cool that I can do that will be able to help me kind of make games, and if I can, you know, start getting good at art and being able to put some of my own art in the little games and little tutorials I make, I think it'd just be something fun and just kind of add to whatever I'm doing a little better. And I was partially inspired by Charles from Infallible Code. I did a live stream with him a couple weeks ago, and on there he was talking about he recently picked up a 3D modeling course, and it was just kind of, you know, something fun for him to do on the side when he had a little bit of free time. But yeah, I thought it was cool that he said he was, you know, just trying to build up his artistic ability a little bit more. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do here. Yeah, I'm really excited about this whole draw a box tutorial series, lessons, whatever you want to call them. I think it's just, you know, going to be a real good base for me to kind of have some small amount of a drawing ability. And just, it kind of gives me some good structure to practice off of. I know there are some other kind of artistic courses that I wanted to follow along with, and I think that I kind of just need a good baseline of some artistic ability, because I mean, let's be real. Is that the best looking art? No, it's probably not. So you can see I've been practicing a lot of lines, so I'm drawing, you know, nice confident lines, hopefully. Now, kind of going back to the whole 3D art thing that like Charles was doing, I really am a fan of 3D art. 3D art was like kind of something that originally got me interested in game development. Just, you know, watching people make some pretty incredible things through 3D modeling, I think was really, really cool to me. And the fact that you could, like, you know, kind of do that as a profession was something that always interested me. But, you know, I'm not as much of an artist naturally. I'm more naturally a kind of logical thinker. So I was naturally more drawn towards programming when it actually came down to learning some of the disciplines of game development. However, when I was in college for game development, I did take some 3D art courses, did take some 2D art courses as well. The 2D art courses I was always a fan of. I mean, I really enjoy 2D art, and I can kind of get into kind of why I'm doing some 2D art more here in a sec. And I do think I made some pretty cool things in the 3D art courses that I took. To be honest, one of the main reasons I'm sticking with 2D art right now and just kind of learning that base levels of drawing and you know, creating things in a 2D environment is really because when it comes down to animation, I mean, I don't know how to put this another way, but I hate doing 3D animation. In my opinion, it is absolutely the worst. 2D animation, I'm fine with. It's pretty fun. Have some experience doing 2D animation, and that's been fine. There's a program called Spine 2D, which is a 2D animation program, and I want to use that more because I think the little that I have used that program, it's been pretty fun. So let's see, now we kind of got these like wing looking things, even though it's not actually a wing. So it kind of cuts off at the bottom here. Okay, it's workable. Yeah, this is really the first time I'm kind of drawing in some sort of digital, and actually this is not the first time I'm drawing in some digital environment. What am I saying? This is the first time I'm kind of drawing on this tablet though, kind of where I'm drawing directly onto it. I do have one of those Wacom tablets, and that's again another reason why I want to use 2D art more, is so I can actually kind of utilize that Wacom tablet, because it was something that I needed for a college course, and I've only used it, you know, a small handful of times since I left college. Now these things actually aren't wings, even though they kind of look like them, but they're kind of part of the supports that hold up this whole spaceship when it's as it's being prepared for launch. But yeah, anyhow, I figure I have this tablet, so I might as well kind of start taking advantage of some of the neat features on it. I want to start using this tablet for just kind of, you know, being able to just kind of do some chill art without needing to boot up my computer or any of that goodness. So yeah, I guess doing widescreen of a freaking tall rocket did not work out as well as I wanted, but that's okay. I'm gonna stick with it. I mean, yeah, I kind of wanted to make this like, you know, a fun, positive, silly video. You know, you guys can watch me, you know, be terrible at art, which is fine and all, but I also do kind of want to, you know, share the journey. I think if I really am going to be sticking with this, and I think that I am, because I am enjoying, you know, going through the process of learning and, you know, just kind of doing some artistic stuff. I do want to share it with everybody, just to kind of show you, you know, kind of where I started from, and, you know, hopefully in less time than more, I'll have some stuff that's halfway decent. Okay, so that's looking terrible. Let's see if I can get a nice line here for you guys. Wow, look at that line. See, as you can tell, I'm kind of kind of got to figure out the control, keeping that pen pressure right. You know, it starts off a little light and goes a little more. Of course, I can turn off the pen pressure, but I do want to work with and kind of get used to working with the pen pressure enabled. Again, of course, the Wacom, however you like to say, tablet that I have, of course, does have very precise pen pressure, and so I'm definitely familiar with that. But drawing directly on the tablet is a little bit different, and I'm getting stuff like this with the palm rejection not being the greatest on here, but I mean, that's fine. I think I can get used to that, kind of figure that out. Yeah, the whole draw box tutorial series, they basically said that you should be spending 50% of your time kind of doing exercises, just drawing lines and boxes over and over and over again, and then the other 50% of the time is you just kind of doing fun stuff like this, and that you should be picking out things that seem too challenging for you or seem like you wouldn't be able to draw them. And yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say that I chose something that fits under that category. But it's fun nonetheless. Of course, if you do have any good drawing resources online that you may know of, feel free to let me know down in the comment section below. I'm sure as I kind of progress more and kind of do more of this in my free time, I'm gonna get a better art flow. And again, this is just like a real kind of baseline to show you all, kind of where I'm at as a extreme beginner, and then over time, hopefully you guys will see some improvement here. And I hope this does inspire you also to kind of go out and start maybe trying your hand at learning some art that maybe you've been wanting to do for a while, but for whatever reason you haven't. And I think now is really as good of a time as any, where you might be stuck at home a little bit more and kind of have some more time to actually dive into some of these extra little hobbies. And again, hopefully it can kind of help you keep your mind off all the craziness for just a little bit. I mean, so this is I mean, you can tell it's a rocket. It's a freaking wide, squatty rocket, though. That's fine. I mean, my proportions are way off. I think it really should just be like, half the width of what it is, but whatever. That's how you learn. Now, I'm definitely used to drawing on the computer, and this is fine. I can certainly get used to this. Of course, the Drawbox series, it's traditional pen and paper pretty much for the most part, and by for the most part I mean the entire part. That was a good line, I must say. There's kind of like a little bit of a grid pattern kind of going on here. And so, hey, here's a good time to, practice kind of drawing a bunch of lines. That's what I'm going to do right now. And hey, if you're still watching at this point in the video, that's awesome. As a little reward, I can tell you about this really cool video that I came across today. It's actually a guy who did a electric guitar cover of the whole Mega Man 2 soundtrack, and it is honestly fantastic. I think if you just look up like a Mega Man 2 guitar cover, you should be able to come across it pretty easily. Now, I mean, these lines are fine. I've been kind of practicing drawing the lines, of course, in the Drawbox tutorial, which I've mentioned about 17,000 times in this video by now. As of right now, I'm not really displaying that much perspective. This is kind of supposed to be sort of like an angled kind of thing, and that's one of the things in the whole Drawbox series seems to like. I cannot get this line right now. Jeez. That's kind of one of the first things that they start going over is perspective and being able to make things look real and have things look relational and proportional to each other. And if you couldn't tell already, I'm clearly nowhere near being proficient at doing any of that. Okay, so as far as main things go, I think the only one last other thing that I want to do is kind of on this platform there are sort of some lights. So I think I'm gonna make those. And we can go a little thicker with this. And just nice light pole there. Cool. Wow, I'm physically embarrassed at how bad that light looks. Oh well, this is, you know, again, this is the baseline. This is where I'm starting from. And I'm gonna do one kind of behind here. Okay, so I think it's time to start adding in a little bit of detail. So let's go to the rocket layer and kind of create some of this detail on here. Kind of got these little rocket booster things on the side. This is actually, if you've ever seen, they did a bunch of tests of this where it's basically like an ejection system where, you know, if there's ever any troubles with the rocket, that you know, the crew capsule could separate safely from the rocket if there was ever some sort of emergency type situation. Next, what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw classic NASA worm logo, because they did bring back the NASA worm logo for this. Somehow I made the NASA worm logo look bad too. Incredible. Incredible. Here's the thing with a lot of art, there's a lot of kind of push-pull, right? You know, you kind of add in a little, you take out a little, and you end up with the worst NASA logo on the face of the earth. Okay, I mean, if you zoom out, that does look terrible. Oh boy. Alright, I think that's probably as good as my rocket's gonna get. I think now I just want to come back to kind of some of the background stuff. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Okay, it's not terrible. Alright, so you know what, you guys? I think I'm going to call it right there, because I've been working on this for over an hour now, even though it may not exactly look like it, because it, you know, pretty much looks like trash, but this is what I'm saying when I'm terrible at art. And again, I really hope that through these kind of art tutorials and courses that I'm going to be going through, that, you know, my art does get a little bit better. Of course, this is also the first time that I'm really using this tablet of mine to kind of make any sort of art, so of course there's all sorts of hiccups with me kind of just like figuring out the tools, and so I think that I'm going to be getting rapidly better, hopefully in the near future here. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, it was just kind of a fun thing that I hope can take some of your mind off the craziness for a little while. So if you enjoyed it, please be sure to like this. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for more content that is not like this, but is actually related to game development. Maybe every once in a while I'll throw in some art in there if it makes sense to. Of course, leave me a comment below if you do have any suggestions on maybe some, you know, good art resources to help my art look from, you know, whatever the heck this is to something, you know, much better. So anyways, I'm gonna wrap this video up. Again, stay safe and healthy, everybody, and I'll see y'all in the next one.